Hey, welcome to my channel. This is Frodo, aka Fernando, or Fernando, aka Frodo. Welcome to my closet. Hey, today's video we're gonna be watching Fugees, actually, the member of Fugees, Pras Michel, Michel, I don't know how you pronounce that, but he's convicted in federal corruption case. Apparently or allegedly he donated money to Barack Hussein Obama campaign with dirty money. So, and all other charges I think that goes with it. So let's see, let's analyze it and let's see. Okay, this is the news from the NBC News.
To us in the last couple of minutes, a former member of the Fugees has been convicted of 10 finance-related federal charges, including money laundering and campaign finance violations. You probably remember the Fugees, 90s.
Yeah.
Pras Michel, he was part of it with Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean. But Michel has now been found guilty of using illegally obtained money to get closer to former President Obama during his 2012 campaign and using millions more to bankroll an expensive lifestyle.
Ooh.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins me now. We have laid out the charges against Pras Michel, now found guilty. And the details here are pretty interesting. Talk us through it and your reaction to what we're learning in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, this may be colored by the fact that I am a defense attorney, and I actually recently defended money laundering charges in federal court. And money laundering charges are very broadly written as a statute and can be, in my opinion, relatively easy for the government to prove. But in addition, you have FARA violations. That involves an agent of a foreign. Yeah, exactly. It's a law that prohibits, or I should say, requires at least registration if you're working on behalf of a foreign national. It's the kind of thing that became widely learned or known during the Paul Manafort era several years ago. But I would argue before that, there were not a lot of regular citizens that knew about FARA, and there weren't a whole lot of FARA violation prosecutions in this country going back a couple decades. So it's not something that's generally known. That's why I think it's a possibility this defendant probably really didn't know that the mere distinction that he was doing the bidding of a foreign national as opposed to somebody else made such a difference. Just to give you an example, one of the allegations was that one of his co-defendants, a foreign national, gave this defendant $20 million to get a photograph with President Obama. Now, if it didn't involve a foreign national and it didn't involve President Obama, if somebody gave me $20 million to get a photograph with Hallie Jackson, I would take that money. It would be lawful, and I wouldn't tell Hallie Jackson how much I was getting paid. And I would definitely try to get that picture done, and it wouldn't be a violation. The existence of that political angle and the foreign national is what makes some of these things criminal. A lot of citizens don't know it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC.
Claiming that he didn't know it. Oh, that's probably he's going to plead not guilty and just say that he was not aware of anything. So let's get to the bottom of it. I think all right, so who is this Pras Michel? You heard that he was the member of the Fugees back in the day. So, and with Lauryn Hill and all that. I think he was the rapper, I believe. I don't know, but anyway. So, they were, remember that song "Killing Me Softly"? "Ready or Not," "Ready or Not," one of the best-selling hip hop albums in history, actually, back in the day. He was actually he was never a front man, but he had a major influence behind the scenes. So, and then he actually transitioned to filmmaking, I think. He did all of that stuff back then. So, and then there was a guy, actually there's a person by the name of Jho Low. Jho Low. In the late 2000s, they befriended or Pras befriended Jho Low. Jho Low is the Malaysian billionaire. He was one of the associated with remember the IMB scandal, or not IMB, 1MDB scandal back in the day. So he has a lot of cash. I mean, loaded. This dude is loaded. So the prosecutions alleges that that Low guy, he used Pras as a conduit to influence U.S. politics, and that's what they found allegedly. But Pras actually admitted that he received around $20 million, right? $20 million. That's a lot of money. And he was claiming that he thought it was free money. He thought it was free money. So, maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe he thought it was free money, right? So he gave it just to get a photo op with Barack Obama. So, I mean, there's other charges there too, including lobbying for China and all other things that's in there. He was actually acting as an unregistered foreign agent for China. So, and he allegedly lobbied the Trump administration to return a Chinese dissident. Well, that's one of the good things, right? So allegedly participated in schemes to influence the DOJ, accused of attempting interfering with an ongoing federal investigation. That's a lot of lists. Okay, the prosecutors also tried, or they said that he tried to take credit for a back channel influence campaign to reach the U.S. government. So there's a lot of charges in that. So it's conspiracy and piracy and whole other things in there, right? So the trial actually lasted for a few weeks. So he actually testified in his own defense. That's what I haven't seen a video yet, but I was just reading this thing. He actually testified in his own defense. So, and that's what he claims that he never intentionally broke the law, right? He didn't know that he needed to register as foreign agent. I don't know, maybe he did not. So he was being used by rich folks, richer, more powerful men. So he's saying that he's being rich. I mean, he's being used by them because of the money. Well, no crap. Cho gave you money to influence him, back in the day, and you took that, right? So jury they found him guilty on 10 federal accounts. His lawyer argued that the case was politically motivated. I always say that nowadays. Just like all these things, being indicted, people being indicted right now on the Democrat side, oh, this is a retaliation. We're being persecuted because we're Democrats. So now the sentencings, actually he's facing up to 14 years in federal prison. Oh man. So that's a biggie, right? So, and this is actually, they saying that one of the longest prison sentences ever for campaign finance violations, right? So that's sentencing's included with that would be national security concerns, foreign interference in U.S. politics, attempted obstructions, and so on. So what happens next? So what's going to happen is the actual Fugees. Well, I don't know if you can tie in the Fugees with it, because I don't think Lauryn Hill, I don't know if they knew. I mean, I don't know if they knew this, because this is he's not the front man. I don't think he was the rapper, like I said earlier. I think he's he's the manager. He's like he's the member of it, but I don't think the Fugees are it's going to be dragged into this. But their music will remain intact. I mean, that's common sense, right? But the only thing is Pras' legacy and his political connections and his business network and all that. That's gone, right? That's going to be destroyed. So, and um and moving forward, I don't think, and also I don't think Obama knew. You know, I mean, that's people, a lot of people, a lot of rich folks back in the day that donating to Obama left and right. So I don't think he knew, but then again, his name is getting dragged into that. The report, all the news is dragging in, Obama's campaign because it was he was part of that. His name was part of the allegations, or well, it's not even an allegation. He's convicted. So anyway, so that's who he is, and that's what happened. So what's going on? So now what? Nothing really. I mean, people getting caught. I mean, it took him. It took like all these years, man. Why now? So that means it's like if the DOJ, like even like in the Obama era, if they were to really look into this, they would have found that he did that. But then again, it's because money went to Obama. You know what I mean? So it got buried. And DOJ Obama's carried on all the way to Trump's first term, and then Biden, and now Trump. So I don't know. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But all right, so if you like my video, comment. If you don't, that's fine. Thank you for visiting, and thank you for watching. This is Rodent. Until next time, whatever I find, I post. Okay? Later.